go rock picking today. It's been a year and we're going to the exact same field. There we go. Ready to go. Dante, do you like my hat? Nice and atrocious. Where we didn't finish on the edge here, and then we'll move into the back over there. Down this path here. We'll go straight up. Stopping for a break. Hello, this is Editing Me. And I have come to realize that I never actually explained why we go rock picking or stuff like that. So, okay, this is weird. You can't see my eyes. There we go. Okay. Like I was saying, I never actually explained why we go rock picking. So basically, the reason we go rock picking is because really, in order to get the most yield off your field, the cutter bar, when you harvest beans, has to be incredibly low to the ground because the pods on the bean plants only go up so far. So that means that you can, unfortunately, scoop up quite a few rocks if you have a very rocky field. That land, in particular, that I've got on display here, was no-till for a very, very long time, and it still is no-till because of how my dad is processing the land currently. I don't know if he's planning to till it next year, but either way, we're basically renting the land for free because of a deal my dad has with the owner. So I won't complain all that much, but I'll complain a little bit because it's such a pain to go rock picking. You are literally picking up rocks that are bigger than your fist or your fist sized. It sucks, because we live on the Canadian Shield. So, that being said, it needs to get done, and it's gotten done. At least as far as we can, because this season has been so bad for rain, it's ridiculous. It would basically get to the point of like, maybe we can get in the field, and then it'd rain again. And then maybe, and then it'll get rain again. So this season has been incredibly bad in terms of like being able to get into the field. So yeah, but that's that. So yeah, this field, the last field in this property. You're probably gonna need to turn around, yeah. We can go around the driveway here. Yeah, just go in there. Yeah. Let's see. Go for it. All right.
Start here?
Sure. Let's start. You good?
Good?
Good. Say goodbye for this year, Dante.
Bye-bye. See you next year.
We're on our way home. Pink tire blew. So now we're getting it off.
Oh, tight. Still tight. Yeah.
So I made it back home a little while ago. Or not a little while ago, about an hour ago. And then I sat down and almost fell asleep as I was eating. So either way, the employee I was working with, he unloaded the trailer. And apparently he checked the tire there, so the tire is new and put on properly. And that's that. So on to night chores. I have no footage for Tuesday. I don't remember what I did, but I did something other than regular chores. So, yeah. I just don't remember and I don't have any footage. It is Wednesday, and on the dock for today is fixing a mistake my dad made yesterday. So, my dad has been processing beans for a neighbor because we have the roaster to do so. And before we did that, we had to process our own beans because we were out. So, bin 1 in the feed room is usually reserved for beans. However, my dad wasn't watching, and bin 1 overflowed. But how we have the auger set up is that it stretches across all 4 bins. So, the problem then arises with the fact that slide to bin 4 was open, and it wasn't full. So that means that all of the beans that were supposed to go in bin 1 that were overflowing ran into bin 4. Bin 4 is currently holding our corn. Bin 3 is the empty bin, and bin 2 holds our barley. So that means that I'm going to have to shovel all of the stuff from bin 4 into bin 3, all of the stuff that overflowed from bin 2, or into bin 2, into bin 3, and it's not exactly an easy position to shovel from. So, wish me luck. I've had to take off my shoes. Alright, let's get to shoveling. But alright. The corn bin has been dealt with to a certain degree. Alright, that's that. So, today is Thursday, and a while back, our brush broke in the middle barn. And what broke on it was the motor. When we looked at replacing the motor, for the model and everything that we have, it would cost less to just buy a new brush. So that's what we did. And it came in the other day. So now, me and one of the employees are going to get that set up. So then the ladies will be less itchy and scratchy. So, let's get that done.
Some of them are really hitting it hard with their head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they just want to have fun with it. We just gave them a new toy. The brushes have been really helpful in terms of keeping less barn destruction from happening. Just because they lean on the gate so hard, they warp the gate so bad. Like, I think the gate near you is warped pretty bad there on the... Yeah. Just because they rub on it so much. But yeah. At least they're having fun with it. Once again, I say hello. So, on Thursday, I think it was? Yeah, Thursday. In the afternoon. Yes, Thursday. In the afternoon, after we installed the brush, I had noticed, and I had been aware of this all week, but we had basically run out of kid mix. And if we hadn't fully run out, we would have run out for either that night or the next morning. So I clarified with Dad and decided to do it that afternoon when our mixer was empty, because we make it in our TMR mixer and then we run it through the conveyor into the barn, etc, etc, etc. I've shown that before. But the reason why it's something that I needed to discuss with my dad is because my dad recently changed the schedule for how the robot runs. So what that means as a whole is that the robot, after having installed the second TMR, now runs 2 mixes for different timings, but the 2 mixers run off the same power source. So one mixer, or the computer inside its brain, will basically turn off its automatic settings to allow the other mixer to run. However, if you shut off, you can basically force it out of the auto setting. It's very confusing. I don't fully understand it. I didn't wire it in. I hold my hands up. I don't really know what I'm talking about, to be honest. However, that's my current understanding of it. I'll probably look into it more and figure it out more, and I'll try to remember to update that once I figure that out. But that's kind of the whole deal with that. And so the reason I need to clarify with Dad is because I didn't know when the timings were for the mixer that we were using in order to make that mix. Thankfully, turns out, I didn't need to change any of the flipping switches that are in the brain for the mixer that we were using. And I just carried on making mix. And then my dad got involved halfway through, and it sped up the process, and I just carried on. I got finished. I don't know what else to say. I don't have any video of the finished product, but I just kind of gave up trying to video things because there was no point once my dad gets involved. And then Friday, we did treatments again for the wash bay. I don't know what it is, but we have some kind of bug. It's really irritating. I don't know what's going on, but basically in our last 3 pens in the wash bay, like if the wash bay is the rectangle of the screen here, the pens that were on this side, basically the last 3 had a baby die in each one of them. And then the ones at the front, they were obviously becoming sick in the different consistencies, I guess. So like the 4th pen in, if you say that the penning is, I think it's about 20 in terms of density, then probably about 15 of them had runny noses. And then like the 6th pen, or whatever number I'm on, they're also 20 goats, and 10 of them had runny noses. And like you go down the line kind of thing. I can't remember how many pens we have right now. And so we gave treatments for that, and we gave Exenal, which is different than what we had been giving before, because we had been giving Draxin. Well, Draxin and penicillin combination. And then this one we were just giving Medicam and Exenal. But yes, that one's done. So, I think that's it. See you next week!